I'm Melissa Chartrand. I'm here with Bart Weisman, where I like to call my summertime office. I'm down at the High Arts Shanties at Hyannis Harbor. Now, Bart, we will tell our viewers why we're down at the Shanties later. That's sort of my hook. They have to listen to everything we say so they find out why we came down here, in addition to it being an absolutely beautiful spot.
Beautiful spot.
So, Bart, you are such a phenomenal musician. I'm so happy to talk to you today about all the recent happenings and what's going to be coming up in the fall as well.
Well, thanks for having me. A lot happening, especially in Hyannis. We have the Jazz Jam, which is the third Sunday of every month, and that came out of the Provincetown Jazz Festival when 50 jazz musicians came to Provincetown on a Sunday, and we've been doing that ever since. And we have kids who come and adults, jazz musicians, and I pretty much was looking for an opportunity to do more of a situation like that, but in an educational environment. And then I was hired by the Cape Cod Conservatory, and Stephanie Weaver, who's the director, had a very, very successful combos program in Michigan. And we're starting that in September on Cape Cod. And we're very excited about that. This will be an opportunity for young people, old people, any age who want to play jazz and learn more about playing jazz in a small band setting. In the high schools, the kids get to play jazz bands, these big bands, but this is a chance for them to play small bands. And open to any instrument, any ages.
Any level as well?
Any level, absolutely. In fact, Stephanie had 6 different combos going in Michigan at different levels. So we're very excited about this, and we start in September. We're going to have interviews for placement, and then this will be an 8-week program, and we hope to repeat this throughout the year. And we're starting off using musicians from the conservatory. We have Rob McCauley, who's a bass player and teacher at the conservatory, Alan Klinger on guitar, who is with the Cape Cod Conservatory Big Band, and myself, who teaches there and plays with the Cape Cod Conservatory Big Band occasionally. And so we're very excited about this program. And
I think it's so, I love it for so many reasons. First of all, it's reaching everybody of all ages, introducing them to the smaller setting, introducing them to collaboration, because that's something we've always talked about, Bart, is that you have your different bands around, but especially with jazz,
yes,
you're able to flow from one group to another, and it's almost, it's encouraged, actually.
Yeah, it's really a language that you learn, and that's what we're going to focus on, teaching the students the language of jazz and how to do what we do, which is go and just play with anybody at any time, and you know, even if they don't become professional jazz musicians, they'll appreciate it like no one else. And this is America's music. It's our music. It's our #1 export to the world. And we're very excited about this program on Cape Cod.
Yeah. Now, you started very young, too. Let's talk a little bit about your love for music and for jazz as well.
Yeah, I started off in 13 going on 14. I got into music and quickly got into jazz and was in the Air Force Band when I was 18 going on 19. I was the youngest technical sergeant in the entire Air Force. And really had a great time. It was a small combo, so I know a lot about combos. And we played at the president, for the president, vice president, for generals, and all we did was play parties for 5 years. So we had a great time. Yeah, no travel.
No travel.
No travel. Yeah.
But really good experiences.
Really great experience, and getting to. I even had Vice President Mondial play my drum set one day.
Wow,
so,
that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
It was cool. Yeah.
So, and then as you said, now you're now here on the Cape, and you're instrumental. It just passed, of course, but the Provincetown Jazz Festival,
Yes,
which I also love, that began. And let's talk a little bit about its roots, but then how it's made its way, and then we can work in your shirt here. It's made its way from Provincetown to Cotuit.
We started 9 years ago. The idea was to create a jazz festival in the typical sense of a 2 or 3 day jazz festival, just like George Wein had done with Newport. And I since have met with George, and he had a lot of music on the Cape. He had his own club for a while with Storyville. So we met in New York in his apartment, and he was becoming a nonprofit, and we were already a nonprofit. So we shared some stories, and of course he's a wonderful man. And we told him what we have done, and each year we tried to do something different. Again, the Jazz Jam came out of the second year, but we finally fell into a format that's working out really well. We do a Saturday night concert in Provincetown, and then we wait a day and then come down Monday to Cotuit. And it was great because we're here after the last night's concert in Cotuit. We had Mindy Todd from the Cape and Islands NPR station was our MC, and she's telling the people, you know, 200 plus people, let's go up to Provincetown. So it really does cross-pollinate,
sure,
right? And it's an opportunity for us in Cotuit to present musicians that, for instance, the first group had never traveled outside of Provincetown. and the second group, you know, she had really not performed that much in that part of the Cape. So it's an opportunity for people in Cotuit to see what happens up in Provincetown, get people back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And cross those town lines. Just as the water, it doesn't know town lines. I like to say the arts should not know town lines. And
No,
it's just
it's
a nice
all
fluid.
one big
Yes.
Cape, you know. In fact, this week I start in Provincetown and I work my way down to Plymouth. So
Right.
it's like all across. So within Hyannis, of course, we've been playing at the Grand Karoo and the Cape
Right.
Cod Resort for many years. And that's where I'll bring off-season guest artists. And some of these people are auditioning for the Jazz Festival. I just had a woman last year who came in from Michigan. She was going to be going to Boston and New Hampshire. So she came in for a night. And now we're considering her for next year's Jazz Festival because of that. So, you know.
That's right. And then also in Hyannis, as you said, you play several locations around town.
Yes.
Here in Barnstable. And of course, we will give the website.
Yes. And we'll give the website also for how to contact the Cape Cod Conservatory.
Right.
For the program.
So for information for the program and information because you certainly play Cape-wide.
Yes.
But you just mentioned something new that's coming to the Island Merchant here in Hyannis.
I'm kind of known as a jazz guy, but I play all kinds of music. And been very successfully working with a Brazilian band. This is Livio Freitas from Falmouth. He's originally from Buenos Aires. Ron Ormsby, who's a bass player here, known as Marie Marcus's bass player for 20 years, and personal manager. And he goes down to Brazil every year. And I worked with Peter Betts in Washington, D.C., who was Ella Fitzgerald's bass player for 24 years. And he helped bring this music to America with Charlie Bird. And what happens is we go into the Island Merchant, and the next one is September 8th. It's always on a Sunday at 6:30. And it's a night in Brazil. They have Brazilian food, Brazilian music. We have people come in and sit in. We have Flavio Barras, who plays pandero, and he sings. And there's dancing.
Oh, it's fabulous.
So it really is a night to celebrate Brazilian music. And even though this music is associated with jazz now, bossas and sambas, it really is Brazilian music. And that's what we do, authentic Brazilian music. You even do some cowboy stuff in there, too.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, how wonderful to immerse yourself in that culture for a night. So that's
wonderful.
great news. And then the reason we're down here at the Shanties, I'm very excited to say, is that in September, every Saturday in September, we have a free jazz concert here from 2 to 3 p.m. And it's a beautiful setting. Right down here watching this, the artists are still here, people are strolling. It's certainly a working waterfront, very busy. And just to be able to kick back and relax and enjoy the smooth sounds of jazz is something very exciting. And you help kick that series off.
Right.
It's a different group each week, but...
Yes, and September 7th, we're going to have at 2 o'clock.
Correct.
We're going to have the Bart Weisman Smooth Jazz Group.
Yes.
It's a very popular group. We play all around the Cape. And for people who may not say, I don't like jazz, we find that everybody loves this group. And it's a great introduction to people saying, you know, I love this kind of jazz. Maybe I'll explore traditional jazz. But we're going to be playing right where we're sitting,
That's right
here. And it's free, and it's going to be beautiful weather for concerts. And
yes.
We encourage people to come out and look at this beautiful waterfront.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bring your beach chairs and blankets, or they're seating around. And as you said, you have connections. Mother Nature promised.
Yes.
If there's always sun shining down at the Shanties.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Bart. Well, let's let our viewers know your website.
Right. It's bartweisman.com. That's BartWeisman.
All the information there with links to the conservatory as well, but the Cape Cod Conservatory's information is capecodconservatory.org, and Cotuit Center for the Arts is artsonthecape.org. All great sites, and again, I just love the collaboration and the back and forth between the different organizations and musicians. That's what we really are about here.
We really do. All work all throughout the Cape. We all help each other out, and it's just a wonderful environment to be in, and I perform year-round on the Cape, and I'm just happy after 10 years to be here.
Well, great. Well, we're happy you're here. So, Bart, thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Melissa.
And for Bart Weisman, I'm Melissa Chartrand, wishing you an artful day.